Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Lonely Artist Podcast. My name is Ariane, and today we have an extremely fun and entertaining conversation with Gisali. Tessa Nelissen, aka Gisali on Instagram, is a 26-year-old from the Netherlands who has lived in Norway for the past 2 years with her partner and their 2 cats. She graduated university as a dentist in 2018, but got a job as an account manager in the textile labeling company when she moved to Norway. Though she never dared pursuing a career in it, her biggest passion has always been art. From a young age, she loved creating and drawing characters and stories. That desire to create and draw has never gone away, and is something that she has always been doing next to her studies and work. Who knows where it will eventually lead her. Well, welcome to the podcast. I don't know if you've ever heard any episodes previous to coming here. Have you?
I have heard the one that you sent me.
Oh, okay, perfect.
Yeah.
And yeah, like I said, it's just a casual conversation about you, your art, your journey, and we're just eager to know a little bit more about you, especially you being so talented, and that's one of the reasons why I reached out.
So did you. Thank you.
So how about we start by you sharing with us where your art journey began?
Yeah. My goodness, where to begin? I think it's a very cliche answer, but it really started from a very young age. Since childhood, I've always been really into arts and crafts for as long as I can remember. Mm-hmm. And my mom always actively made sure that I was involved with this.
That's great of your mom.
Yeah, she's fun. And but when you talk about getting a bit more serious with arts, I actually looked this up. Because I remember when I started getting a bit more serious was when I discovered Deviantart. Mm-hmm. Do you remember Deviantart? Yes.
Yeah, I remember.
And that's when I discovered, oh my god, there's this big community of artists online, all sharing their work, and I loved that idea.
And yeah, Deviantart was the best back in the day.
Oh, it really was. And that got me so inspired. And I remember I found this one artist. Her artist name is Hello Baby. I never understood that, but it's just the most amazing artist with colored pencils and details. And that's actually when I started to pick up that. So I started traditionally with colored pencils, mm-hmm. And I wanted to be like her to make it super detailed. The only difference was I was also a bit of an anime Japanese manga freak, so I did want to do it, with the big eyes and the insane hair. So yeah, that's where that started. Yeah, and it was only until I was 20, 21. I was already studying when I wanted a digital tablet, because I thought the future is digital.
So tell me something. Do you find that coming from a background where you started traditionally and then you decided on going digitally, do you find it hard to marry both both techniques? Like, you also said you were into really intricate art, but then you're also in a manga anime weave. So how have you found it to how have you found a middle ground between those?
Oh, good question. Because when I went over to digital art, I did not really find a middle ground.
Okay.
Because what I could do with colored pencils and the small details, it was such a big step for me to going digital that I really simplified my arts when I went digital in order to make it easy for myself. Mm-hmm. And I've always found I don't know why, but I always found these really cool, the digital coloring techniques that look traditional, mm-hmm. That look like it's painted. I always found it very intimidating. But I can never do that. But yeah, which is maybe a bit silly. I mean, it's all about trying, which is, by the way, why I'm now doing the Ross Draws art bootcamp.
You are? Wow.
I am.
Man, that's so cool.
It is. It's a really good way to to try out these types of things as well, especially because he posts his full-time video of how he does it, so it makes it a little bit less intimidating. Like, oh, okay, this is doable.
So have you been enjoying it, like that course? I don't really know anybody who's taking it, so I'm very curious to know like what your experience has been so far.
Yeah, I've honestly been amazed at how much I've already learned after the first lesson. We're not that far in yet. It's just I just finished the second assignment. Now we're at the second month, and I think it's 10 months in total.
Wow.
So quite a ways to go.
Yeah.
The first assignment was doing studies from an actual real life reference, and to really train your hand-eye coordination and trying to copy mostly what you see, and then of course adding your own flair as you want to. This is the first time I really tried copying, human skin where the shadows and lights fall. I was happily surprised if you actually take the time to try and recreate it. And as I said, it was really handy that he shows his entire process of how he does it, so you really you know where to start. He shows you the way.
That sounds really useful, and especially, I don't know, I also agree all of the really realistic and rendered paintings are so intimidating for sure. So it's nice to
Yeah.
see where it starts.
It really is. And it's not as far away as you think, thankfully.
Well, and I wanted to ask you as well. You said you started digital art and you like to simplify a lot of the things that you draw.
Yeah.
Do you think you're going to want to continue searching for simplifying things, or not really now that you're taking this course and you want to probably start doing some really intimidating rendered art?
Yeah, no, true. Honestly, I would love to do both.
Okay.
Well, as you know, I do not do art full time. It's part time. It's after a full time job or next to it. So I don't have a lot of time for it always.
Of course.
And which is why the simplified drawing is very relaxing for me sometimes. I can still draw something and just have fun with it.
Yeah.
But it's very nice to also have a bit more of an intricate piece on the side that you work on every now and then.
For sure. I agree.
Fun to experiment.
Yeah, it's nice to experiment, and we all have different, I guess, versions of our art. Maybe we don't post all of them, but we are always probably exploring. I'm sure that's your case as well.
Yeah.
Tell me something. You said you are not currently pursuing art as a full-time career, or more so you are working right now in another job and you do art on the side, right? So
Yes.
do you think that taking the pressure off trying to make money out of your art helps with feeling happier or more comfortable with drawing and making art?
In one word, yes. Yeah, very, very much so. For me, at least, I also tried combining it with doing commissions on the side next to my full-time job. Absolutely hated it.
Oh no.
Not that, people have wonderful characters and ideas, but in the limited time that I do have, I wanna do what I come up with.
Yeah, that's completely understandable.
Yeah. I really, really enjoy improving and trying things out. And if you make it into work, at least for me, next to my already full-time work, it takes all the fun and relaxation out of it.
Of course, yeah, that makes sense. Total sense. And you said you want to focus more on drawing things that you like. So I wanted to ask you, like, what are your favorite things to draw or subjects to draw?
I think my my Instagram account probably says it all. It's female, cats. I wrote down female characters and cats. It's wow, I'm so deep.
I mean, is there anything prettier than those two things?
Right? Nothing. Well, to be fair, I really enjoy drawing birds too.
Oh. Well, just animals and females.
Yes, and don't get me wrong. It's not that I don't like drawing male characters. I'm not as good at it. Yes, I am, behind the scenes. I am practicing. I promise. Yeah, my art is not very the art that I post at least not really doesn't have a deep meaning behind it. I really have the goal to make people that look at it smile or just think, oh pretty or oh cute, and then I'm happy.
From my experience, I can tell you that that's exactly my reaction to your drawings.
Oh,
It's just
yay!
adorable.
Mission accomplished.
And that's really
I'm
cool that you make it, for fun for yourself and to make other people smile. I think that doesn't have to be something super deep and meaningful for you to enjoy your work and to make something beautiful.
I agree. I'm really happy that is how I can do art, at least right now.
And we love it. So, keep doing that
Yeah.
as well.
Yes, ma'am.
Some people get too caught up in creating a style for themselves. And we've talked a little bit about, you wanting to simplify things or, learning rendering styles. But do you feel like you have tried to develop a specific style, or do you just draw without really thinking about it or worrying about having a style?
Good question. This is something I've struggled with a lot at first when I first entered social media and tried growing my account, because I noticed that most big artists have a very distinctive style.
Mm-hmm.
Then I also think these are professional artists that probably draw more than 8 hours a day and have done it for a very long time. And all of them, I've seen quite a lot of, I follow some of them on Patreon and seen a lot of videos of them. All of them actually say the same thing. It comes naturally over time. You just have to draw a lot and get good, basically. And this is really something that you develop over time. And this also changes all the time. I think maybe not very, not, yeah, I don't think it changes a lot once you've actually gotten to a point where you're very happy, but it will still change. I mean, the more you keep going at it, the more you will improve.
For
And I
sure.
guess, yeah, and I guess with my own, I do think when I look at my Instagram account, just a nice overview, that there's some elements that always come back.
Mm-hmm.
I guess mostly my color palette, maybe the way I draw a mouse is quite similar, but I have really let it go to needing to post pieces that are all in the same style.
Yeah.
That was very freeing, I promise you.
It sounds like that. It sounds wonderful to not really think about it or worry about it.
Yeah, and if you do worry about it, which I mean, I can also get that, especially people that are already going professional and they want to. I know Instagram likes it when you mostly have one style. People click on your profile, they can boom see, oh, I like this style, and nothing forces you to post your experimental pieces if you're not comfortable with with posting it on your profile.
Yeah.
You can just do it in secret.
So there's a whole secret world of your drawings that we've never seen.
um, there's definitely pieces you don't see, absolutely. But sometimes I'm also, even though it's not exactly a style that you're used to from me, I'm proud. I just want to post it anyways. It's still my
Yeah.
art,
I
right?
mean, people who like your art are gonna appreciate it no matter what. So I'm
Yeah,
totally in favor of you posting things that you're proud of.
thank you. Yeah, I think you're right. And honestly, if most of your profile is a certain style, it doesn't matter if there's, every fourth or fifth post is something a little different. That's fine.
Exactly. It's good to, keep it interesting.
Yes.
And you know what I really like, about your profile specifically? I don't really follow a lot of accounts that draw animals regularly. Just because I find it hard for people to draw animals in a way that I personally like. But I find your animal drawings to be so cute and also like graphically. Oh, sorry. I hit myself with my hand because
Oh
I was like
goodness,
moving. Okay, sorry.
recognizable.
um, oh my god, I lost my train of thought. We were talking about,
Animals,
yeah, your
cute.
animals.
Yeah.
They're wonderful. They're so cute, and not only they're cute, but graphically, I feel like the designs are very pleasing to at least subjectively my eye. Um, and I wanted to ask you, like, do you have any tips on how to get better at drawing animals? Because they're very
Uh,
hard to draw for me.
yeah, I do have tips for you.
Yes.
Because I at first also thought this was not the simplest thing, and I feel that most people start with drawing humans,
Mhm.
and it's actually a bit of the same process. You do the human studies. There's also simple animal anatomy breakdowns, and I've mostly focused on cats.
Mhm.
So you do studies there. You do
All
studies
right.
from real life, which is very easy for me because I have two cats who do the funniest things and take on the best poses. So that's great.
I've seen the pictures. They're so pretty. I love
Oh, thank you.
them.
They know they are cute.
Yeah, you can tell from the photos. They're just like, yeah, look at me. Take a photo. I'm
Yep.
incredible.
Yeah. And yeah, and in addition, of course, to the studies, it does help when you find some artists that do animal drawings, but in a cartoonier style.
Mhm.
And just like you do with artists that draw humans, you take elements from these artists that you like, oh, how did they do this? And what do they exaggerate? And you take elements from everywhere. That's also how you create your own style over time, I think, by combining these different things that you like.
Mhm.
And you'll actually, once you get into it, I think you'll notice very quickly that animals are, at least cats, they're quite simple. They're very simpler than humans, less difficult shapes, in my opinion, at least when you simplify it.
All right. Well, that's actually really good advice. I'm gonna try to apply it and try to see how it goes for me with drawing
Yeah,
cats.
but you have to send it to me, please, when you drew a cat.
I will. I promise. I'll send
Yeah.
you all the cats that I try, but I'll
Oh,
also promise you they'll probably be pretty ugly at first.
that's okay. I said I do not post my earlier drawings that were that were ugly.
That's a really good idea.
Yeah.
So let me pick your brain a little bit more. I wanted to know also, who are your biggest art inspirations? Because I feel like there's a little bit of maybe that's just my opinion, but I feel like there's a combination there between anime, but you also have, in my opinion, like some Western cartoon influences in your art.
Oh, I'm happy that you say that. That's what I'm trying to do.
Well, awesome. Well, that's what I saw when I saw your art. So I was like, yeah, I can totally see that. But I wanted to know if you have any specific artists that you look up to, like big artists that you like.
Yeah. Um, I indeed have always I really like both styles. And
Hmm.
I started with really big anime eyes, but I toned it down a bit and I guess embraced my Western culture a little bit too to combine it. My biggest well, I already told you about Ross that I follow his art boot camp,
Hmm.
and that's for me mostly because I really like how he colors. That is it's so vibrant and pretty to me with all these textures. Like I wanna learn more.
Yeah,
So
yeah, he's really dynamic for
that's
sure.
definitely yeah. There's and then I have two big artists that are both Dutch actually, like me,
Oh, nice.
which is Loish. I think her
Hmm.
art is also
Oh man, she's the queen.
amazing.
She's the queen of
She,
everybody.
oh, she is, isn't she? And I know her full name in Dutch is Ilse Harting. I think her Instagram name is, how do you pronounce this? I Roos.
Oh my God, you're gonna have to write that down for me because I don't think I can
Yes.
write that for myself.
No.
It's like if I threw a Spanish sounding name at you right now, you'd be like,
I will.
what?
honestly, let me just I am by my computer. I'm going to instantly direct message you one of her art pieces.
Oh, awesome.
That's so you can see later. Yeah, her artwork is oh, I know, heaven. I really, really like her work. And what I like with her page is also it is a combination of these full rendered pieces, but also sketches and simpler character art concepts. It's a bit of everything that I love.
Oh, I do know her. She is
Yeah.
really, really good and
Oh,
talented. Man,
really
she's
like her work.
fantastic.
And these are more the artists that do very intricate coloring. And then I have two favorite artists that they kind of showed me that you can have amazing art even though it's simple, and I'm air quoting simple because it's actually not simple, but you
But
know,
it
it
looks
doesn't have to,
sort of simple.
yeah, right? Clearer line art, just more flat coloring, but just the composition is great, and the expression of the characters, the color, and that made me realize, okay, I do not have a lot of time for art, but I still want to do it, and I want to have a social media profile. I can do this without stressing myself out, learning how to render everything. You can
Yeah.
still make art. And that is, oh, I've built this up so much now. Well, that's Xavia. I don't.
Oh, don't
I
worry.
wouldn't
Like
pronounce it very
it,
Dutch.
it
Yeah.
doesn't matter if you have a hard time pronouncing them because I'm just gonna write all the handles in the description for the
Right.
podcast so people can just click on the names and don't have to worry about learning.
Perfect. Perfect. Yeah, she's an artist from New Zealand. Just clean and perfect. And yeah, check her out. And the final one is, here we go, Magdalena Dianova.
Oh,
Have you seen
okay.
her arts?
So you
Yeah.
like artists with very intricate names.
Yes. Apparently so.
I also wanted to ask you, like, because this is a place where I try to support smaller artists, like, is there any small art accounts that you feel deserve more attention or love that you'd like to share with everybody?
Definitely. I honestly there's a lot, but I narrowed it down to one, which is one of my
Awesome.
best friends. And it's a he. It's Tyler Cook, and he on Instagram is called Art Force One,
Hmm.
and he definitely deserves more love. His art
What
is
kind of
also
drawings does he make?
he also does digital art, and it's my goodness, how do I describe this? It's also quite clean art, clean lines, very stylized coloring, and yeah, very fresh and clean.
Nice.
And
We
then a
like
bit
fresh and clean.
yeah, we like fresh and clean and graphic in the yeah,
Awesome.
very
And
very cool.
we'll definitely share him as well so that people can follow him. I also wanted to, ask you if you had any advice for people who follow you that maybe want to become artists themselves. Do you have any tips for people that are just starting?
That are just starting. Yeah, I think I'd say at first to decide, are you gonna go full time? Are you gonna go full in or all in or not? Are you gonna be like me where you do not dare to go all in? I mean, that's the first step basically on what you're going to do.
Mhm.
And then it's I know everybody says it, but it really is about practice. And I'm not gonna
Right.
just say that. It's not just practice whatever. I would say what a good combination would be is that you um, do studies from real life,
Mhm.
some quick post studies here and there to, yeah, basically to understand the human body better and learn a bit more about anatomy. So combining studies with drawing what you love.
Awesome.
And
So, like, practice studying and drawing what you love.
yeah, I think it's very, if you at least, steadily want to improve, it can also be quite overwhelming because you see so many amazing artists online and amazing art pieces, and you want to do it all.
Yeah.
It probably really helps to make some choices and narrow it down for you and change that up. Change your schedule up. Like, okay, this month I'm gonna focus on doing figure drawing and making some portraits in my own style or exploring this. And now I'm going to study the style of this artist. Make it a bit fun. Make it like a school for yourself.
That's a really good advice, actually. I feel like people should definitely try and do that.
Yeah, I mean, I've noticed very much that I always want to do it all. You don't have enough hours in a day,
Yeah,
and I
it's
know
true.
life is short, but it's also very long.
Yeah,
You have time to practice different fields and take it one thing at a time.
true. Very true. And talking about life, do you have any plans with your art in the future? Do you have any like dreams, goals you'd like to do with your art?
Yeah, who doesn't? I do think for me, realistically, it's been going very well now with Instagram account growing in followers. I'd like to see how that goes the upcoming year. I kind of made a promise with myself that if I ever reach 10K followers, then that is kind of a sign that you can have a little bit more confidence. I don't have the biggest self-confidence, if that wasn't clear enough already when it comes to arts.
I would have never guessed that, honestly.
And yeah, I think at that point I would like to explore more if people would be interested in me selling some prints. Maybe try out this Patreon thing, and we'll take it from there.
Awesome. Well, I think you're definitely on your way to getting more than 10,000 followers, for sure. And
we'll see.
It's just a matter of time, probably, for you to have to do that, all of that, because, I mean, yeah, I'm with your art, I'm sure that's not going to take you very long. So brace yourself.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm very excited to see how it's gonna do, how it's gonna go. It's been patience does pay off.
It
Patience and
does.
practice.
100% agree. And my favorite part of the podcast is always the last question because everybody has something very interesting to answer to this question. And the question is, if you could have any magical power to help you in your artistic process, what would you like that to be?
Oh, I think a photographic memory.
You'd like to remember everything you see?
Yes, because don't you know that sometimes you've seen something or you see something beautiful in real life or online and you try to capture it. You cannot completely put it down. Oh, I don't know. I would love to remember everything I see.
That would be amazing,
It'd be
honestly.
handy.
Yeah, very handy for sure. So you'd have like a infinite library of images in your head.
Right?
Yeah.
Always have a reference.
I think you're the first person to ever say, a photographic memory, and I think it would be very useful for sure. Well, and those are all of the main questions I wanted to ask you. I'm so glad that you wanted to share all of this with us. There's a lot to learn from what we've just talked about, and like I said, I'm 100% sure that your artistic journey is going to continue to grow. So I just, really think that I'm very lucky that you decided to come on the interview because when you grow and stuff like that, it's going to be a bit harder for people to be able to ask you questions.
You are too kind, really. You honor me. I'm truly honored that you actually asked me to
Oh,
to join
no.
for a podcast.
Stop it.
No, you.
Yeah,
We are
this is just a
two
small
softies.
podcast.
It's very I really like that you're doing something like this. I really like that.
Well, I'm really
Delicious.
happy to be able to meet amazing people such as yourself through this podcast, and it's the perfect excuse for me uh, to sort of find a way to be able to talk and ask people questions that people that I admire, because I definitely admire your work, and it's just a wonderful thing that we get to do, and I'm very grateful for your time and all of the answers you just gave us. So thank you so much for all of that.
Well, that was it for today's episode. I hope that you enjoyed it, and we'll be seeing you on the next one.